Hi, welcome to another FinApp session. This is going to be a slightly intense one. We are going to take up the process of how do we arrive at the FinApp ranking process for the equity funds. So in another video, we've already covered that how do we arrive at the recommended funds. So the recommendations are already made only for certain categories of funds, which is the main category starting from large cap to small cap, whereas the ranking is applicable across all the equity funds. That is, across all categories of equity funds, a ranking process is actually applied for. So we are going to be taking you through in terms of how do we arrive at the ranking, what is the importance for us, and then where is that we are actually showing up in the UI and kind of data and things like that. So showing in the UI in the FinApp application, this is available under research and advisory, under fund research, under fund selection. You can see this tab called as FinApp rank, where you will actually be able to see overall rank and rank by parameter. Okay, let me first of all tell you what is overall rank. So overall rank is basically the consolidated rank that we assign to a particular fund in every category, which is a combination of 21 different parameters. We're going to be taking you through the parameters as well. So based on this 21 different parameters, we actually come at one consolidated rank for a particular fund in a particular category. That is what overall rank is. Okay, so you can just select all the AMCs, select the asset class, which currently at the moment is only equity, and you can check out the categories. If you wish to sort of look at the category level, you can sort of just check out the categories as well. You will be able to see the fund ranking, the overall ranking over here. Okay, and this is updated on a quarterly basis. So any data that you wish to see from the previous point of view, you can always go by the calendar, but currently it is updated as on 31st of March 2026. So the next update will be 30th of June 2026. So the ranking as a data is updated on a quarterly basis. Okay, so just repeating it on a very quick manner, overall rank is basically one consolidated rank which is given for a particular fund within a category, which is a composite of 21 different parameters that we are using. What are the different parameters that we are using, and how is it the fund is also ranked at a parameter level? You can see that in the UI here. You can see upside capture ratio, downside capture ratio, maximum drawdown. We will make it a little more simplified by taking you to a Google sheet, but the same information that is also available here. Okay, so this is on Jan 2026. Similarly, the data will also be available for 31st of March 2026. Okay, now coming back to the importance of this. Okay, the FinApp ranking is one parameter or one criteria that we look in terms of judging whether a fund is to be bought, additional buy, or exit or hold. Okay, in the portfolio review process, along with the fund performance versus the its benchmark XARR, we also give a 50% weightage to the fund ranking. Okay, and the fund ranking, the FinApp fund ranking is going to be coming from here, which, like I said, is a combination of or is a result of 21 different parameters. So the fund has got to be in the first quartile if it is to be retained, from a positive point of view. If the fund is not in the first quartile of the ranking process point of view, it's actually a negative for the fund, and therefore the system can give an exit option as long as the benchmark also has outperformed the fund performance in the review process. Okay, so to summarize, ranking is a very important process, and which we do it on a quarterly basis. The data for that is available under the fund selection panel under the FinApp ranking, and this is updated from our research team. From the backend point of view, we sort of update this data, and this data is going to be used as part of judging whether a particular fund in a respective portfolio is going to be, or rather, should that be recommended as a buy, hold, or exit. So that is the relevance of this particular FinApp ranking data. I will also quickly give you the comfort, or rather, will show you how is that we are arriving in this particular ranking process, the 21 different parameters that I spoke about, so that you have enough confidence and comfort in terms of the processes that we are following in terms of arriving at the ranking. Okay. I'm taking you through a Google sheet, which we, like I said, which we sort of update on a quarterly basis. You can see all the equity funds are being covered here. Okay. And if I pick up, let's say, any category for that matter, I can sort of do a filter and take you through a particular category per se. But just giving you an overview first, we sort of doing all of these data for all the funds, and then we have these weightages that we've given here: upside capture ratio, downside capture ratio, etc., etc. So if you actually just take a sum of all of this including the fees, you can see the count is 21. This is what we mentioned about 21 different parameters. So there are multiple parameters that includes returns, risk, the fund manager track record, the AMC processor, etc., etc. So out of these 21 parameters, or rather using these 21 parameters, we arrived at a particular sum, and therefore we also look at the consolidated rank. This is for the 1 year process that we are talking about. Similarly, we do it for 3 years and 5 years as well. So long story short, it's an extremely extensive process that we sort of do, and that's how we update the data on the FinApp application on a quarterly basis. And once that is done, we pull this data from a relevance point of view. We pull this data as a ranking process, and whether it falls under the first quartile or not into the portfolio review processes as well. So extremely exhaustive process, and we've sort of made it very transparent as well. Anytime that you would, let's say, if you wish to sort of deep dive into the processes, or if you would, let's say, have any sort of queries or clarification that you seek on the ranking process, please do get in touch with your relationship manager. As always, we're extremely happy in terms of extending a help in terms of making your processes and research very unique and differentiated. Thank you so much for watching this video.